channel, guys. So the other day, you guys see my video, Mauricio Sulaiman, he came out, he backed Tyson Fury completely. He defended him without doing any investigation. He completely defended Tyson Fury. Now, in his statement, he said a lot of things that were very, very telling. One of the things he said, and I quote, he said, "I was present in both fights. I was in the dressing room in both fights, both Wilder and Fury dressing rooms. One was in California, the other was in Nevada. In both cases, there were at least 3 inspectors in each dressing room."
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Deville with Counterpunched Boxing News. And I was letting you guys listen to a segment of Dante's Boxing Nation. According to his report on Mauricio Sulaiman, saying that he was present in both fights, one in Vegas, one in California. And he said there was at least 3 officials in the dressing room. I don't know how many were in the dressing room, but I do know this. There are officials that are there at all times. Okay? They're there at all times. Now, I'm not sure about 3, about what Mauricio said. That's something that he said. But I know for a fact that is the protocol of any professional fight. Someone has to be there present in those dressing rooms with those fighters and the fighters' team. Okay? So they're watching the fighter and they're watching what's going on with that. Okay? So I just wanted to clear that up because I can't remember if him or his apprentice or whatever, because he has an apprentice that does videos on his channel, and he has his own channel, Arabic Cat. And their big thing was, why was the monitor off? Okay, well, that's just one factor. That doesn't mean that no one's watching just because the monitor's off. You know what I mean? Does it seem a little suspicious? Sure, I already said that. But at the end of the day, not really, because there are people already there. And right before they turned that monitor off, people, you saw an official walking around that dressing room with a red coat. It's like a maroon coat that all those officials wear when they're looking and they're observing and they're reporting, okay, to make sure everything goes square in order, okay? So I just wanted to counterpunch that before people got the wrong idea, because that's something that I left out of the last video that I wanted to really make a point on, that there are officials there. So Mauricio's right. Now, how many, I don't know, but there are definitely officials there. Let's continue.
Then later on, Mauricio, he talks about how this was such a great win. It was like one of the biggest wins in the century, which is why he believes it should not warrant an investigation. There should not be a blemish on this great win. And this is what I've been telling you guys since day one.
Okay. Mauricio saying it was a great win, the best win of the century. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like, come on. I mean, you had a guy that was a very good boxer, that wasn't known for power. Big guy that's not known for power, that's quick for his size. And he was able to stop a guy that's known for power, but has been hurt, wobbled, and dropped before in previous fights. So I don't know. I wouldn't agree with, the greatest fight in, the century. You know what I mean? If I didn't know any better, I would say he sounded a little bit more like Larry Merchant, because Larry Merchant was just all ecstatic, like, oh, I just want to enjoy this feeling, right? Because Tyson Fury was a white guy. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to make apparent. But no, best fight or best win in the century? No, I mean, come on, in the century? What are you talking about, the millennium? I mean, that's what we're talking about. But then, I wouldn't say that. But why would it warrant an investigation? I do agree with that. It shouldn't warrant an investigation. Why do you ask? Regardless of how many videos that these channels peg out constantly, relentlessly, day after day, hour after hour, okay? The only way it would warrant an investigation is not from the demand of fans. It's the demand of the team that felt they got cheated. Okay? So in other words, if Wilder himself or his team, if they see nothing wrong with the protocol that Tyson Fury has conducted, why are we having this conversation in the first place? See, that's the only reason that it would warrant an investigation. Okay? But anyway, let's move on.
People feel that this is such a good win for a fighter on the hope list to beat a current black significant heavyweight champion. They feel the win is so big, it's not worth going into an investigation if that's going to be at the cost of putting a blemish on this huge win. And Mauricio, he confirmed that point. Let me quote exactly what he said about this. Quote, "It's very sad because to try to take away something from a huge victory, one of the greatest nights of the sport in the century, to try and put a blemish on that event is so irresponsible and so stupid, it should not be given any consideration." Keep in mind, he said this right after Deontay Wilder's brother came out and showed pictures. Well, he didn't show pictures, but he came out with the statement that his brother has a dent in his head, and the doctor said the dent in his head was from a blunt object and it wasn't from a fist or a glove.
Okay, now, first of all, I think Dante let the cat out of the bag on why he's so driven to make these or to try to discredit the win is because it's a black and white thing. Okay, and that's what I've been saying. All this is created because this white boxer beat this black boxer, especially when this white boxer was not supposed to never had the capability of doing so. Okay, was it a good win? Yeah. Was it a great win? No. And Mauricio saying that why are you trying to cheapen the win? Especially, it's so stupid and not warranted. Well, it's not warranted because no one's pushing it except them. Again, Wilder and his team are not pushing it. That's the number one thing you have to know about this. If he was pushing that, that's that. Now, Marcelos said that there's a dent in Wilder's head and it came from a blunt object and not a fist or, or a glove or whatever. And then it's like, okay, well, first of all, you said that he took padding out of his glove. So why would you say he took padding out of his glove? If a doctor confirmed that it wasn't from a fist or a glove, that means it didn't come from that at all. Maybe he had a dent in his fucking head anyway. You never thought about that? But then here's the thing. Who are we referring to? A doctor. What doctor were we referring to? See, here's the thing about concrete journalism, okay? If you have hardcore evidence besides hearsay, because this is something Marcelos said, right? Which is not in Wilder's team. He's a brother of Wilder, his blood brother, but he's not in the team of Wilder. He doesn't even train with Wilder, okay, as far as I know, okay? But he's not on the team of Wilder. I don't know if he was there or not or whatever when Wilder got beat. I don't know. But I will say this. Him saying, a doctor said that he had a hole in his head or had a dent in his head or whatnot. Well, that isn't the first time we heard that. If you guys can remember, Blue Blood Sports TV about 2 months ago said that, doctors have reports that he has a dent in his head and it came from a blunt object. He said that a long time ago. So that lie had been created a long time before Marcelos made his statement about what his brother told him. You know what I mean? And it's like, I've never known Wilder to be a loss for words until now. Come on, you think about it. Bomb squad! I want people to shut me up. That's what I want. Anybody, come on, any contender. Right? I mean, he talked like Clubber Lang mixed with Apollo Creed at the same time, right? But now he's not saying anything about this. You think if that man had something to say, he would say it? Of course he would. Especially if he thought Tyson Fury would cheat, and you know that Deontay Wilder hates cheaters, right? What did he say about Ortiz? What did he say about Povetkin? What did he say about Dillian White? What did he say about Jarrell Miller? What do all those guys have in common? Those all guys were cheating or are accused of cheating, right? So we haven't heard anything from Deontay Wilder. So what the WBC president said made sense. And it made sense only because you guys are talking a bunch of shit and we are hearing enough about it because you guys with your channels and your subscribers are pushing this narrative because you can't stand the fact that the wrong guy with the wrong color beat that wrong other guy with the right color. Right? That's the problem. You know, and again, he let the cat out of the bag talking about, oh, well, the white fighter beat the white hope beat the black great fighter. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's two opponents at the end of the day. But it shows you where this was going, and it shows you where it's always been. It's always been about race with a lot of these channels. It's not the fact that Wilder got beat. It was the fact that Wilder got beat by a guy that didn't look like Wilder, that didn't have the color that Wilder had. If that been Dillian White, it would have been more of maybe a UK thing. UK, you know, like the same as Joshua beating Wilder, right? It would have been more of a UK thing. But then the problem with Joshua and White is Joshua and White has a white promoter, so that's how they will try to shun that particular victory for those fighters. So Lord knows what type of narrative that they would bring to the forefront to try to defend that loss from Wilder. Okay, but I will say this. Time will tell. They can make 1,000 videos claiming that Mauricio is protecting Fury. Mauricio would have done that anyway because he said the same thing for Wilder, right? Nobody brought, as many times people brought up, rabbit punches and illegal blows and this. Do you see Mauricio? How many times did he protect Wilder from White? Think about what I'm saying. This makes any sense. Mauricio is thinking about the money. He's thinking about the fact that, hey, guess what? Whoever has that belt, I'm going to back because they're the champion and they all got to pay me. Sanctioning fees, right? That's what it's about with governing sanctioning bodies. That's that. Okay, so with Mauricio caught in a huge lie, what huge lie are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Just because he made a statement conveniently when Marcelo's made a statement, that wasn't a real big statement, honestly. You talking about a guy's brother that said something that a doctor told him, but this doctor, who is he? He doesn't exist. He don't have a name. That's what I'm telling you guys about true journalism. If it was true journalism, we would have had a name. We would have had what clinic he went to or what hospital did he visit. Who was this guy? They would have had an interview with the doctor because the doctor is more credible. Because what? The doctor can confirm certain things about a person's body, right? So why aren't we hearing about the name of the doctor? Where he went? When he go? When did you go? To reveal that you had a dent in your head, right? See, these are all fabricated lies. That's all they are. Because you're saying something that someone else said twice. You're saying that Wilder told his brother supposedly, or you're saying a doctor told everyone else that we don't know who the fuck the doctor is. Come on, man. Let's just be real about that. But anyway, that's me counterpunching Dante's Boxing Nation with another video of how Mauricio Sulaiman is protecting Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury cheated Deontay Wilder. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.